All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hola a todos. Buenas tardes, buenos días, buenas noches, wherever you are in the world. Greetings from the south of Spain in Granada, the beautiful, magical city where I have been living now for just a little over a year. Welcome, Mary. Welcome, Peter. Welcome, Amanda, Six Bullets. And those of you who are just joining the flow of today. How are you guys? How are you feeling? How's your week going so far? It's been an interesting week in so many ways. For me, obviously, I can only speak for myself. Uh, Energetically, I've been feeling quite vulnerable and almost as if there's more energy wanting to get into my body, into my energetic system, but it's like my physical body cannot handle it. So I'm doing the best that I can. I wonder if you can relate to what I just said. Without a doubt, we're moving into a new season. We had the equinox this past weekend, so happy equinox to everybody. Feliz equinoccio. And for me, it represents the beginning of not just the spring, but also a spring in terms of my work in the world. You know, think of the word spring symbolizing not only the season, but also like remembering those cartoon characters where the characters had like these shoes that had like these strings, resortes in Spanish, and it would like make you jump forward really high. I think those things actually exist. I don't think I've ever seen a real one, but I think they do exist. And but it's that sense of like something is propelling you forward, sometimes a little bit faster than you would like it to be, and so it's a little scary. It's like a lot of change coming up really quickly, or sometimes you're springing backwards. I have a few friends and clients who certainly have that feeling that instead of the spring being forward, it seems to be taking you backwards. If it is taking you backwards, I believe it's because there are things from the past that you have not dealt with, that you have not embraced, that you have not given yourself permission to really transmute, heal, forgive, whatever term you want to use for that. And so if you're being sprung backward, it's just so that you can deal with that. Because otherwise, you're going to spring forward into this next stage of your life carrying all of that. And your universe doesn't want you to do that because it's going to weight you down. It's going to keep you from having the best experience. It's going to keep you from truly experiencing the freedom that you long for, that your heart is longing for. So if you feel like you're springing backwards, like there's old feelings coming up, all grudges coming up, people in your life you have not been able to forgive, let go, experiences like that, then this is all an opportunity to surrender it, to let it go. And what a better time than this day, this moment, right here, right now, today's global heart meditation, where we can come together and do this together. Hello, my belle, Mabel. Mabel. Oh, Mabel. Hello. uh, Peace in every step. Hello, Jacob. Hello, Cindy. Hello, guys. Thank you for keeping me company, for being part. The truth is, we're keeping each other company wherever we are in the world. Yeah. Yes, of course, I'm reading your mind, Six Bullets. When we're all connected at the level of the heart, think about it. We're connected energetically, and the energetics is actually what rules our lives. It's what brings us together. is what makes you either like somebody and feel attracted to them, or immediately repel them and feel like, ugh, I can't stand this person's vibe or energy. It's the energetics. Yes. All right. Before we dive into this this week brief topic that I'll be talking about, hint, it has to do with personal responsibility. There's a few announcements I'd like to make. First, I want to let you know that this coming weekend, March 27th and 28th, I will be hosting the third Opening the Heart weekend retreat. So proud of this experience. Something that was an idea last year, since I could not travel and do my open Path of the Heart seminars. It's now basically taken off, and I feel very grateful for everyone who's been participating in these weekend retreats, where what we're doing is we're coming together, a group of us, to create a safe space for ourselves and each other where we can open up our hearts, and do some deep healing, working both emotionally, energetically, spiritually, using the power of intention, and using a combination of different healing techniques that I have learned along my own healing journey, which I have compiled into something that I call heart tapping, because it uses the power of EFT, emotional freedom technique, kinesiology, prayer, the letting go technique, what else? And heart math, quick coherence practice is a combination. Oh, also a really powerful tool from the folks over at Access Consciousness. And so I think that sometimes when you combine the best, or what you like the most about different techniques, and bring them together, it has a tendency to have an amplified effect. So that's what this weekend coming up is all about. If you'd like to participate, there's still room. It consists of 3 sessions. We start on Saturday at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We go from 10 until 1. Then there's an hour and a half lunch break. Then we continue in the afternoon from, I think, 2:30 for another 3 hours. And then we take a break for the rest of the evening, and then we continue on Sunday for the 3rd session. Sunday is just 1 session, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And those of you who are listening to this broadcast in Europe, Saturday becomes kind of a late night, because we're starting at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 to 7, and then 8 until about 11 or so. So we'll be done by about midnight, something like that. The good news is that those of us who are in Europe, we get to have the morning off. Where the people in the U.S., you don't. But then the people in the U.S., they have the evening off. They can go out dining, if that sort of thing is allowed in the area where you live. And so that's coming up again this weekend. I'm going to post a link both in the replay of this video, and then also in the community tab. And if any of you guys are interested, you can also go to my website, gabrielgonsalves.com, and then look for the upcoming events section. You'll find it there, and then it can take you through you can go through the registration process. It's $85 US, which is really a bargain for the amount of healing and what you're going to be learning over the weekend. And not only that, but also the friends that you're going to be making. I hear over and over again of people who have been feeling very isolated and very disconnected. The last retreat, there were 2 ladies from Romania who did not know each other, and they lived in the same town. And so they ended up pairing up in an exercise, because one of them could not speak English very well. So I said to them, well, you work together, since this lady doesn't speak English very well. You both can speak Romanian. And so they built a really beautiful friendship, and they had been feeling very disconnected, and they made a new friend that lives almost like next door. And you met them because of some crazy Venezuelan guy doing something called the Open the Heart weekend. You go figure. All right. Hello, Shell. Shell Lockett. Unite Yahweh. Yeah. Amen. Beautiful. Just going through some of the comments that some of you guys are leaving. Okay, great. So that was one announcement. It's coming up this weekend. And then the other announcement that I wanted to make is that in another 3.5 weeks from pretty much, yeah, from 3 weeks actually, 3 weeks from now, we're going to be launching the next cohort of the Heart Warrior training program. It's a 3-month training in emotional self-mastery, compassionate communication, and shadow reintegration. So again, is an opportunity to go deeper in a group, in a very safe environment, in a small group, to heal our hearts, to support each other through our healing journey, and bring light to those aspects of ourselves that we have denied, run away from, and or disowned, which is the essence of what a shadow is. So it's about embracing our emotional shadows, our wounds, our trauma, and learning how to bring more and more and more and more light. In case you're wondering, the term heart warrior was actually used by Carl Jung, referring to the people who have the courage to do shadow work. He's got a beautiful quote in one of his books where he said, shadow work is the work of the path. Sorry, is the path of the heart warrior. That's actually the correct quote. So in essence, to go down into the depth of your own heart and be willing to take full and complete responsibility for what happened to you in the past, for emotions, wounds, behaviors that you have disowned, that were not aware that were within you, and then bringing light into that. In other words, making the unconscious conscious. That requires courage. It requires a tremendous amount of courage, and it requires a tremendous amount of light. Light that can only really be found within the heart, that, as I always like to say, generates the largest electromagnetic field. Remember that your heart is not only your connecting point to the heart of God, but it's also the generator within the body of at least 5,000 to 6,000 times more magnetic energy than your brain, and at least 50 to 60 times more energy than your brain. And electricity, not energy. All right. Hello, Marilyn. Hello, Angela. I love it when every time I meet somebody named Angela. I don't think I know anyone named Angela who is not a believer in angels. For some reason, every Angela that I've made is big into angels. Like, yeah. Makes sense, doesn't it? I don't see why I'm even surprised. All right, that's it for the announcements. Hola, Sue. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Okay, cool. So, on the way here, I went home for lunch. Had a nice plate of pasta and chicken parmesan, which seems to be like my Wednesday favorite dish for some reason. I don't often eat pasta, but when I do, yeah, I have what I love, and chicken parmesan is one of my favorite pasta dishes. So I had lunch, and then I did a little bit of gardening. I went to a greenhouse yesterday and bought some plants for for the little balcony area. And as I was deep into the gardening work, immersed, there was a word that popped up that just rose to the surface, and it was the word responsibility. It's been a theme not only this week in many of the conversations that I've had, but also my own internal conversation. The word responsibility, it's made up of two words: response, able. So it has to do with our ability to respond. To respond to what? Well, to anything. So if we talk about, for example, taking financial responsibility, what does that mean? Well, it means you're going to respond to the financial circumstances of your life. Deal with your bills. Deal with your the people you owe money to, the people that owe money to you. Um, Ensuring that your book balances, right? You have enough to buy what you need and provide for yourself. So it has to do with being able to respond to that. And the same thing if you talk about, for example, taking personal responsibility, right? It's when you basically kind of like raise your hand and say, okay, I'm going to respond for this situation. I'm going to respond for this other person, or I'm going to, yeah, it implies a sense of ownership, doesn't it? You're taking ownership. In fact, that is really the beginning of responsibility in terms of our personal lives. The moment you begin to take full ownership. What about emotional responsibility? What does that actually mean? Well, to me, it means that I begin to take ownership of my emotional well being. It means that I begin to look at my emotional responses in different relationships and different areas of life on a day to day basis, on a moment to moment basis. And I take ownership of that. It means instead of making somebody else responsible for what I'm feeling, I let that other person off the hook. And instead, I bring the awareness inward and say, okay, what is it that's happening inside of me that is triggering all these feelings? Can you do that? Are you willing to do that? What if the next stage of our work or evolution, so to speak, is moving into this place of greater emotional responsibility? Letting go of the need of wanting to blame other people. The person that broke your heart, the person that didn't call you back, the friend that did not behave you expected them to behave, right? The child that did not keep an agreement with you or whatever. That doesn't mean that you're going to ignore what happened. No. We're talking about what happens inside of you as a result of these things that are just part of everyday life. Can you come to a place where you can say to yourself, I am responsible for what I feel. I may not be responsible for what happens or for what this person did or for what the economy is doing or for whatever, any external circumstances, but I am responsible for how I am responding emotionally to this. And if you don't like how you're responding because it's either generating distrust, lack of confidence, anger, bitterness, whatever, and what if you could go look inside and find a way within you to either change your perspective or release, surrender, let go of that emotion or your attachment to that emotion? What if emotions, because they're also made out of, at the biochemical levels of chemicals, hormones basically, what if there's something that we can also become addicted to? Have you ever heard of emotional addiction? It's basically the addiction to a particular emotional state. Like some people, for example, are addicted to feeling sorry for themselves. They're constantly feeling sorry for themselves. And just like any addiction, right? Most addictions, what do? they provide some kind of a quick fix. So you get some kind of a payoff or a benefit from that. And so a person who's constantly going around feeling sorry for themselves and hoping other people will feel sorry for them, deep down, they're getting a benefit from that. In other words, they are enjoying it. Just like the person who's always addicted, always angry, they're addicted to being angry. That's just, they get a benefit from that. What if you could learn to transcend that addiction? The addiction to blame, wanting to blame other people. Oh, you make me feel this. You make me feel that. When you said this, you made me feel this. You made me feel that. You hurt my feelings. As if our feelings are like a pristine, beautiful lake that is like glass and perfect. And then somebody, because they did not return your phone call or they did not agree with you on something, and you're like, oh, that shattered my lake. That broke my heart. That made me very angry. Well, feelings are just feelings. They belong in a threshold that they're not meant to be rational. More often than not, the things we feel are not even necessarily the result of what's actually happening moment to moment, but it has to do with the response that we learned to have when we were little children. I wanted something from mom and dad, and so when mom and dad did not do that, I threw a fit. And then I became accustomed to whenever somebody was doing something I didn't like them to do, I threw a fit, and then they stopped doing it. And then I just got addicted. Then it became a behavior that became how I started compensating for that, which basically means, in essence, that many of us, I include myself in there, okay, we're still in so many ways. We may be intellectually, 50, 40, whatever age you are, but emotionally, we're still little children, still behaving in the same ways in which behave when we're little children, and in order to get somebody else's attention, in order to get somebody else to make us feel good, in order to get somebody else close to us, or do whatever it is that we want them to do, and then obviously manipulate them into behaving a certain way just so that we can feel good, just so that we can then don't have to deal with that emotion. So the essence of what I'm trying to convey, that emotional responsibility begins the moment you begin to see yourself as the owner of your emotions and take responsibility of your emotions, as a mother, a conscious mother, would take responsibility of her little children. And you may say, well, these are my emotions. I own them. I don't like them. I don't even know how to deal with them sometimes. But I begin this journey by taking full ownership of them and embracing that they are my emotions. But now here's the key, and this is how we go into this guided meditation. Though these emotions may be yours because you're feeling them and they're real, right? Though you are experiencing them and they're part of your field and your awareness, and they are your emotions, you are not your emotions. Mabel, you're not your emotions. Angela, Marilyn, Sue, Todd, Veronica, hello, welcome. Jacob, Asha. Guys, girls, you are not your emotions. You are the space in which these emotions are happening. And the only way to begin this journey of taking ownership and responsibility of these emotions so that you can ultimately surrender them, the only way I know how to do that is by shifting the awareness from like the victim, oh, this is what's happening to me, to, oh, look what is happening in me. Can you see the distinction? Something is happening to me. This is what's happening in me. Now from that space, you can then begin to say, okay, what can I do to release, let go, or change how I feel? Well, the key as it often is the heart. Because your heart is the center of your emotional system. And is the only organ that has the capacity to bring a sense of coherence, unity, or harmony. So let us begin there. This is a guided meditation on taking full emotional responsibility so that we can then surrender. What is being experienced is yours, but it's not you. It's temporary. Let us begin. Would you gently close your eyes, bringing one or both hands to the center of your chest? For the next few moments in the stillness, just listen to your heartbeat. As you listen to the lub dub, lub dub, lub dub, take a moment to notice how you're feeling right now, this moment. And would you just simply allow that feeling to be there? And if you don't like how you feel right now, would you also allow that part of you that does not like that feeling to also be there, to coexist? The feeling and the resistance to the feeling, they can both live within you. Kind of like, I just had this image, kind of like when you eat something you don't like. So you put on an ugly face, yet the food is inside of you, and then you swallow it and then it goes away. Same thing. Sometimes we experience an emotion, we don't like it. We make a face, but it's too late. It's already there. We wish it wasn't there, but it's there. And so we're sitting with that duality. Now let us begin to breathe into the heart intentionally. And what I'm going to invite you to do this time, and this might be a little bit weird for some of you, is to breathe on a nice even pattern. Okay? And we'll work with a pattern of 4. So that we inhale into the heart on 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue on your own. In the name of the Father, the Mother, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. In the name of Jesus the Christ, I call forth the presence of the light of God to make itself known and fully present in my heart and in the heart of everyone who's present here today, and anyone watching this replay. Speaking on everyone's behalf, I declare, I am the light of God's love in my heart. Expanding, blazing within me. I am the feeling of appreciation for the light that powers my heart, that is the seat of my emotional system. I give thanks for the love of God that beats my heart. I give thanks for the intelligence, the wisdom of God in every cell within my human body. I give thanks for the redeeming power of God's love within my heart that allows me to let go, surrender, and transcend all negative emotions within me, all addictive patterns and behaviors, past emotional wounds, and anything and everything else that is keeping me from experiencing true love, self-compassion, and kindness within me and towards others. For the living presence of love and light within my heart, I give thanks. Letting this love, this light now strengthen my heart. Bring healing to the spaces within me that need healing. Knowing that this healing is taking place here and now in a way that is perfect and ideal for myself and every person present here today. With every breath, my heart increases its capacity to feel more, to allow more emotional energy to move through me. And I declare, in the name I am that I am, that I am not my emotions. Say that, please, out loud. Listen to yourself say this. I am not my emotions. I am the space, the container in which emotions express themselves. Like waves, they rise and they crash. I give myself permission to feel my emotions deeply, allowing them. Knowing that every time I feel angry, sad, confused, with a need to blame somebody else, I can take responsibility for what I'm feeling. Breathe into my heart and create more space so that this emotional energy can move through me. Letting go the thoughts associated with these emotions. Letting go of the need to blame, make other people responsible. Letting go of the need of having other people change their behavior so that I can feel good. I am not my emotions. if you're not your emotions, then who or what are you? I am an infinite being. Declare that. In the name of the Father and the Son, I declare I am an infinite being. I am the capacity to let go of the blame. I am the capacity to forgive others. I am the capacity to let go of the past. I am the capacity for compassion. I am the capacity to transmute past hurts, emotional wounds. I am the capacity to heal my heart. And to be reborn with a new heart in Christ. I am the immaculate concept of divinity held in the Sacred Heart of Mother Mary, renewing my heart, renewing my mind, renewing my relationships. I am the light of the heart of God that makes all this and more possible. I am the radiance of God, going down into the darkest spaces within me, cleansing, purifying, transmuting, letting go of all of that which no longer serves me, which is keeping me from springing forward into this next stage of my life. I choose to, in God's own name, to move forward anew, to leave the old ways of being behind me and not look back, that I may not turn into a pillar of salt. Choosing to focus forward in this moment, in this step, in this reality, the only place where God is, that I may then dedicate my life to God, to the presence of divine love here and now, and create this next stage of my life from this awareness of my oneness with life, with love, with freedom, with creativity, with joy, with abundance, with prosperity. This is who I am. I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being and changing all into the golden treasury of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out into the world, erasing all errors and breaking down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is victorious world without end. I am the light of God shining in every atom, in every cell. I am the light of God illuminating the darkest places within my psyche and my soul. I am the freedom and the liberation from past injuries, hurt, and grudges. I am setting myself free in Christ. This is my divine right. I declare it. I claim it for myself and for every person here present today. I am not my emotions. I am the infinite self. I am that I am. I accept this. I declare this in full power, all encompassing. declaring it my new reality and the reality of every person here today. And so it is, and it is so. Allow this new awareness to sit in, this new revelation, reminder, really. I believe deep down what I'm saying is just simply reminding you of what you already know. The next time you get triggered emotionally, you feel this incredible need to blame somebody or to get somebody else to change their behavior so that you can feel good. Ask yourself, would an infinite being do that? Would someone who really knows who they are, someone who really has embraced their oneness with God, will someone who is really choosing to live in the footsteps of Jesus the Christ, Gautama the Buddha, Bhagavan Krishna, and all the great avatars who have guided us towards the path of God's heart, would an infinite being do that? And then ask yourself, what would an infinite being do? You may be surprised by the answer that the infinite aspect within you, which is your holy Christ self, will tell you, will reveal to you at that moment. You might just hear a big laugh, and an infinite being might just laugh. An infinite being might see the duality, feel compassion for myself and the other person. An infinite being might just simply forgive and let it go. Use that energy towards creating something beautiful. An infinite being would ... So again, the question is, would an infinite being behave this way, do this? And if the answer is no, then ask yourself the question, what would an infinite being do? Which is another way of saying, what would the holy Christ self within me have me do? It's different than saying, what would Jesus do? No. What would you, recognizing your Christhood, your own divine essence, which is your infinite self, what would you do? That's what ownership is. That's what spiritual ownership is. And that is the space I'm inviting you to inhabit, to live from more and more each day. All right, my beautiful hearties, we've come to the end of our time together. And time always flies when we're here in this space of the heart, doesn't it? All right, Anne-Marie, Sanctuary Reiki, you're very welcome. Animation person, oh, I like that. Hi, Gabriel. Hi, Rianne, Jacob, all of you guys, thank you for hanging out with me. Again, I'll be this coming weekend hosting a beautiful space called the Opening the Heart Weekend Retreat. I'll be posting a link to that in the description. If you want to learn more about it, please come to my website, gabrielgonsalves.com, and then look for the event in the upcoming events tab or section. Okay. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, to hold the space for you, for myself, and for everyone who is listening to the replay afterwards. Once again, hello from Vienna. Hello, Ulrich. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, and I hope that little fireside chat and guided meditation has not only helped you reconnect with your own divinity, but also has equipped you with a very powerful tool to help you take greater responsibility for your own life, your emotional well-being, and not only that, ultimately to become more a vehicle for God's love and light in the world in times like the ones that we're living in. It's so badly needed. Until we meet again, please take care of yourself so that you can take care of others, and I send you all my love from my heart to yours. Bye bye for now.